We cookie-fied.
Cookie-fied.
Cookie-fied Filipino flavors. Because in the Philippines, there's cookies,
Yeah,
but a lot of it is American cookies.
sure.
So there's no ube cookies, no pandan cookies, no mango,
Interesting.
none. So in order to introduce the Filipino flavors here, we had to Americanize the experience.
Yeah. We're good? You all ready? You good? Ready? Good. All right, ready? All right. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Conversation Piece, your place to discover the untold stories right here in Indianapolis and of all the people that make up our beautiful community. My name is Patrick Armstrong. I am your host, and I am so excited to be back again in 2025, the year of community. It is currently May. We are somehow almost halfway through 2025, and this is Asian Heritage Month. We've been attending and hosting and doing a lot of different things and trying to host some of those conversations here on the show. So if you're interested in tapping in with any of that, go to conversationpiecePod.com and check that out. With that out of the way, though, I am really excited about my conversation today. My guests today are the mother-son duo of the very first nationwide Filipino-inspired cookie pop-up and cookie delivery service, Salamat Cookies, based right here in Indianapolis. Since launching in 2020, they've baked over 200,000 cookies and shipped to nearly every state.
Wyoming's the only one.
Come on, Wyoming. And
only
also
one.
5 countries. If you've not come across them at any one of the many events across the city that they've attended, you may have caught them elsewhere as they've popped up all over the map, from Chicago to LA to New York City and more. Looking to get to more in 2025. More than a business, they also strive to highlight and celebrate Filipino-American culture. And what better way to do that than through cookies? So, I have talked enough, and I've got some questions. So without further ado, it is my great joy and privilege to welcome Mike Francis and Mama Odie to the show. Thanks
Hello.
for joining us. Hello. How are y'all
Howdy.
doing today?
Good.
Good. Happy to be
Excellent.
here.
Do y'all mind sharing, for people out that are watching and listening right now that maybe don't know who either of you are, just a little bit more about yourselves? Whoever would like to kick it off first.
Let's kick it off with Mama.
Hi, I'm Odie Williams, and I have been a Hoosier since 1982.
Woo.
I came from the Philippines, grew up there, studied there, came here, and Indiana. Why Indiana? Because I'm married a Hoosier. So
There it is.
I've been here since then, and I was in the healthcare field until retirement in 2017. And then I traveled, and then COVID came along, and Salamat was born.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, she said medical field. 'Cause
Yeah.
Like 90% of Filipinos are either doctors
Sure.
or in medical field or engineers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A real Pan-Asian situation there, a doctor, engineer, lawyer, I think.
yeah.
This is usually what we think about. What about yourself?
Yeah. So I've been a Hoosier my entire life. Even though a lot of people are still like, wait, you're from Indiana looking
Sure.
like that? Like,
Sure.
what? Indiana? But Michael Williams II, and remember the second, because my dad was the first. Just born and raised here, far east side of Indianapolis. Went to Warren Central High School. Went to IUPUI when it was still called IUPUI,
For
which
sure.
is so
Still IUPUI to me.
yeah, forever. Just like it's Conseco Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
So.
My wife graduated from there, so it's always going to be IUPUI.
Nice. And I think to mom's enjoyment, I was a engineer, electrical
sure.
engineer out
Yeah.
of college, and worked as an engineer for a few years, and then moved out to California for 6 years, where I helped with the family coconut business. So I
Okay.
became the coconut guy for like 3 years.
Nice.
But under that, I'm just multi-hyphenate creative, from photography to doing music to shooting video, where talking to the guys here, it's been crazy to see all the setup and
For
stuff
sure.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then literally COVID hit, just like Mama was saying. And then all of a sudden, we all had time.
Sure.
We all had to just chill out.
Too much time, I
Too
think.
much time. And I was like, whenever you're thinking, like, when you have so much time, you're like, you're at my age, you're like, man, I'm thinking about making babies or something.
Right.
And then I was like, wait, I want to bake for my kids someday. And so I was like, Mom, can you teach me how to bake? And that's really where Salamat all started.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. I appreciate you sharing that. I want to ask, so healthcare, that's where you were in to begin with. That was spent the majority of your career. But was baking something that you always did? Was that something that you did with your family growing up?
When I was growing up in the Philippines, we had, some restaurants within the family, a bakery.
Okay.
My dad was a baker, and I started dabbling with just, regular mixer and oven at the house when I was young. Everything from scratch because there was no mixes in the Philippines.
Sure.
So, and I always loved to cook. I have 2 degrees. The first degree was hotel and restaurant administration. So we needed to learn how to cook. And, I knew how to do that. But basically running a restaurant, a business. So I kind of knew about, okay, we need to buy ingredients and we need to make sure that the ingredients and the labor and the overhead and all that will be enough to, sell the cookies at some dollar amount,
Sure.
but cover everything else. So that was a little bit of my background. So basically, it was easy for me to do that. But when I came to this country, your life is a turmoil because you have a job and kids and a career, and the kids grow up, and then the kids don't do good. And then,
What do you mean?
And then you have to rescue them, and then and so baking was like in the background. There would be sleepovers. I'm like, Mom, bake me some cookies. So I baked brownies and cakes and da. But it's always in my blood. The cooking, the baking is always in my blood. So when we first started it, we go, well, what are we going to bake? So we started with 4 flavors: cranberry, blueberry, peanut butter, and of course the most famous is our Woe Philippine mango, because we wanted to be the Filipino-American company that introduced cookies with that flair.
Yeah, I love it.
So basically still now we have, I'd say half of it is Filipino flavors and the other half is others.
Yeah. You mentioned like baking for Mike and baking for the kids when growing up. Was Mike in the kitchen helping you at all doing that baking growing up?
No.
I love to eat.
Love to eat.
I would
love to make the request in. Slip can you make me some of this?
Oh yeah, would devour cookies and milk, and nobody told me I was lactose intolerant, bro. Nobody told Filipinos there's no cows. It's all Carabao. So we were drinking all this milk, and then oh man, cookies and milk definitely did a number on me growing up.
Yeah, I grew up lactose intolerant as well with like a mild lactose allergy, but I was adopted. My parents didn't know anything about that. So they just did literally everything else but figure out that milk was the problem until it was too late. So I'm fine. I'm here. We made it. But,
we made it through.
I'm a big fan of ice cream, not so big a fan of drinking milk. So I don't know if I made it out well with that.
We need more ube ice cream in Indiana.
More ube ice cream. Where can you get ube ice cream now? Do you have ube ice cream?
There's only one spot right now that's consistent. It's Prifrock Coffee.
Oh, okay.
In Carmel, they just opened up a new location and they use our ube syrup to make their ice cream. So,
okay.
So if you want some ube ice cream in Indy,
is it only in the Carmel location?
It's only in the Carmel location.
Their other one is in Sobro, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I stopped there to get coffee before I go to my therapy sessions because it's right across the street.
I actually just had therapy this morning.
Nice.
Literally.
Therapy. Talk about how good therapy is.
Oh man, therapy is is great. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, there's in order to have gotten to where we've gotten to, I mean, there's a lot of things that we've had to overcome and a lot of challenges that we've had to face.
For sure.
And sometimes it's what is a nice space to like unpack because when do we take the rocks out of our backpack, right? And so, that's cool that's cool that you're in therapy as well. And I'm happy from a nudge from a few folks in my community to get back in it. And I just got back in it too. It's great.
It always takes those nudges, because it's always easy to say, well, I can get to it later. And put it to the side. And when we have people in our community, we have a good support system with systems of affirmation. It really helps to push through on that.
May I add one more thing? Especially just like with like people of color too. It's not as prevalent. You don't see many folks in therapy and people for people of color. So just trying to be like an example for myself and it's been helpful, super duper helpful. So
for sure. Well, I appreciate that. All right. Now I have to follow up and ask you a question on this same line of thinking.
Okay.
When you immigrated here, and like you said, you had kids running around, you were doing a lot, you're also working, you're having to save your kids. Like there's a lot going on. Mental health was not really like a conversation topic, I feel like, back in the day. I didn't grow up in the 90s. I was born in the 90s. So I'm like, I didn't really, we still weren't talking about it in my rural town. Was that something that was on your mind at all? Like as you were raising kids and like navigating what it meant to be an immigrant in a new place?
I think boomers have more resilience. I did go through therapy because Michael's father passed away in 2017. So I had to go through group therapy for the grief part. Sure. But prior to that, I did not engage in any kind of therapy because we were like, we can handle it. And we did. I mean, we all have childhood traumas. We all have, things in our closet that, nobody still knows, except yourself, basically.
Yeah, things in your closet. I was just in your closet the other day. It was just clothes and...
Your clothes, you mean?
Look, those are winter clothes. Those are winter clothes. And I asked. Oh my goodness.
It was not a thing, especially among Asians. Yeah. Even at the support group, I was the only Asian. Okay. There were whites and blacks, but I was the only Asian. When I had some people whose spouses passed away, I said, go to a support group like that. You can cry as much as you want and talk as little or not at all. Sure. And they didn't listen to me. So, they got over it, eventually. You get over it eventually, but, it really, really helped me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think something that, especially back in the day, you don't learn is how powerful it can be to grieve in a group or in a collective. I think we think about grief or even just going through an emotional situation as doing it alone or in isolation. And it can, even if this is the only thing you do is to just be in the same space as somebody else while you're going through it, that can be a big boon in a way that you don't realize you need until you experience it firsthand. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, I look forward to going to that for like 2 years I went. Yeah. And then after that, I said, okay, I'm okay now. Yeah. I might pop in every now and then, but, I'm okay now.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you. Speaking of Mike the first, Mike Sr., Mike the first, Mike Williams the first.
Uncle Big Mike.
Okay, Big Mike.
Yeah. He was 6'6".
Okay, so that's right. Okay. You're 6'4"?
I'm 6'3". I'm 6'2.5".
I'll give you 6'4".
With shoes on. I got some thick soles in some of those kicks nowadays.
For sure. I mean, I need the insole because just for my feet. Got to take care of my feet.
Absolutely.
I read that he was a creative or operated in a creative field that was where you got your inspiration for like photography. Is that right? Yeah. Go. I was just going to ask you kind of what that was like, learning that skill from him, and then maybe what a catalyst moment was to start pursuing creative on your own after being an electrical engineer for a few years and deciding maybe that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Man, that's a deep question right there. Sure. So Dad, he worked for the Union, International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees here, Local 30. So he worked at so many different spots in show business. He was a spot op over at Conseco Fieldhouse with spotlights. Like he'd be the doorman over at the Hilbert Circle Theater.
Oh, up on the Circle.
Yeah, he worked at Clues. I mean, he was always the guy who was wearing all black all the time because he's in show business, he's behind the scenes. And he exposed me and my sister and I to a lot of theatrical performances. I remember the first one that I remember going to was Power Rangers live.
Nice. Okay.
Live. And it's you're a kid and your mind just explodes with creativity and just whoa, they're here. I'm meeting my heroes for the first time. Yeah. And, he would take us to basketball games and football games and just where there's a lot of people around. And I think that is why I really love community so much, because I've just been around it all the time and creative and just seeing people express themselves. I think a lot of it is expression, right?
For sure.
And yeah, I think even inadvertently, like I don't think Dad had like a camera or anything, did he?
We had a camcorder.
Oh,
and
the camcorder. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The camp.
And we just had the regular 35 millimeter,
Yeah.
regular, film one that you drop off at CVS.
Yep. Mike's doing a lot of film
Yeah.
work right now.
Yeah,
So
film is where it's just the texture is so great. But yeah, like just being around the stuff that he was doing, and I do remember now like a camcorder. I was doing stop motion during Celebrity Deathmatch. I don't know if you
nice,
remember.
100%.
Oh my!
Yep.
Like so, I was doing stop motion with my wrestling figures, and like you just turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. But there was no editing. It was just all that one clip that would play, and so a lot of that creative started whenever I was young, even before getting into the engineering world, or and started making like montages in like middle school and high school, and buying my first camera because I worked at Champ Shoe Stores. We were talking about kicks, and I remember purchasing my first camera. It was a Fuji point and shoot, which has come back.
Sure.
The point and shoots are going crazy right now.
Yeah.
And I remember just like earning my money just to buy that. And then I remember going on a trip. It was a cruise with my family and just honing in on just shooting. And then it was like, man, these photos are gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I kept looking at them, and I don't know, I guess maybe we're all fascinated with our own work, right?
Sure, 100%.
And it was like, this is so cool, macro functions and stuff whenever I was like at like freshman year in high school and just playing around with it. And then now to think I've been shooting for over a decade, or coming up on 2 decades, is crazy.
Yeah.
And that was another thing that helped to really amplify Salamat, because whenever that got there, I was doing all the photography, I was doing all the blog work, video work. And so I think Dad's inspiration was just his presence and the fact that he was so consistent. He would be on time, like he'd be an hour early for work.
Nice.
Like he'd be downtown.
Yeah, because he wanted to park for free.
Smart.
Yeah.
The man knew what was going on.
At 6 o'clock, you can park for free, and he gets the spot.
He knew what it was. I get it. I totally understand that
He'd
method.
read a book, and so just being around him, and then just seeing how he mentored, just like some of my friends too. Like one of my best friends, Chris, who lives out, he's a camera operator in Los Angeles now. Like he saw that Chris wanted to do that kind of work, so he would he hooked him up with like a spotlight. He hooked him up with like gels, and then I was like, why aren't you doing that? Because it's like father son. It was like, but I never let him know that that's what I wanted to do.
Sure.
Because I didn't even know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I was just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
But then seeing how he was just like a fatherly figure to everybody, like in our community.
Yeah.
And he would just help out anybody in creative because he just wanted to see everybody do well. That's something I remember a lot about my dad.
I really appreciate you sharing that. I appreciate sharing those memories. And I'm going to tap into that a little bit in a second, but I want to go to, you talked a little bit about the origin of Salamat and how it kind of got started. And like you said, in COVID, like as a photographer, creative, like right at the outset, it was hard to find work. Like it was just like, what are we doing? Like, when is this going to come back? What do we need to do?
Yeah.
And so not only was it born out of necessity, but it feels like it was born out of love because it's like a family thing. You're doing it together.
Can I ask for, do you have Kleenex?
I think there are some Kleenex in there somewhere.
I just felt like, there was like a little thing coming down my end of my stash. I know it's like
That's why I'm having my piece.
Thank you
right
so
here.
much.
That was honestly a perfect cut-in because
I
was
actually waiting.
Right for
I was
the
waiting
question.
for
I
that.
have the question right here.
Oh, thank you. Oh man, that's great. I don't really, but like, maybe believe is a strong word as the more I say it, but I kind of don't like really believe in being sick. I mean,
Sure.
And then I just realized that whenever I am, it's just a reminder that like my body is under a lot of stress. There's a lot of decisions to be made, and my nervous system and everything like that is just taking a hit and just like slow down.
We had Samson Levingston on the show way back last year, and he said something that's stuck with me. He said, similar. He's like, I don't really believe in being sick. He's like, I'm either healthy or I'm healing. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty fire. I'm like, okay, yeah, I might be down, but it's because I'm healing back to where I would be healthy. So I appreciate it. I feel that.
Definitely healing right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So as far as origins go, you said like came up to Mama Odie and was like, "Hey, can you teach me how to bake?" When he came up and asked you that, did you think that this is where you would be now when he asked you that first request to start baking?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, the surprise I got was we were baking and he was giving it away to people because salamat means thank you in Filipino. So because his insurance was in LA, he couldn't go to a doctor here or whatever.
Oh, okay,
so,
sure.
We had a chiropractor friend, so he would go to the chiropractor and he said, Mom, make some egg rolls. So I said, I'll make some egg rolls, and then I, gave it to them and
Sure.
like, let's make some cookies. Maybe, this could be another, gift to them. So I made some cookies, and all of a sudden the receptionist at the chiropractor place said, "Are you selling these?" And he just said, "Yes." And then he comes home and goes, "We're selling cookies now." And I'm like, "We're doing what now?" So we're like, we better figure out what you want to do. And, and this was May.
Yeah.
Well, actually it was April when we were thinking about it.
Okay.
And we better come up with some kind of recipes. And, we can't just borrow from the internet. We have to make our own.
Sure.
And so we had the basic, because every cookie has a basic formula. You have shortening, you have eggs, you have sugar, you have flour, you have leavening, you have flavoring, all that stuff. So we just had to figure out the right formula. So
It's been a 5-year journey.
Sure.
To find the right formula.
Yeah, so the formulas for the cookies are
recipes.
Sometimes are recipes. Sometimes we get it on the first try. Sometimes we try for 20 times and we never perfect that one type of cookie we want to do. So we kind of scrap it or put it in the back burner. Sometimes we have it good and then we're going, let's tweak it again and tweak it again. And so we've had many, many tweaks with our cookies. Not only like what kind of butter to use, what kind of flour to use, what kind of vanilla or cinnamon or whatever to use, which fruit are we going to use, which all of that.
Yeah.
So it's been a trial and error a lot. We taste all our cookies. So,
bake it till you make it.
Bake it till you make it. That's got to be on a shirt.
We taste all our cookies every time. So we're like, okay, no, I don't know why we're not big as a house, but but we also
metabolism. That is a
But you're moving around the kitchen. You're on your
lot
feet.
of moving.
Correct.
Tons of moving.
So anyway, so we started to say, okay, our target will be Mother's Day weekend because Mother's Day weekend, people are going to buy cookies for their mother.
Right.
So basically, it was Instagram and Facebook. The first 20,000 cookies was sold by Instagram and Facebook.
First 20,000?
First 20,000.
Did that all
At her
happen on the
kitchen.
Mother's Day, or that was just in that first run?
Oh, the
Okay.
first
Okay.
run.
Yeah,
the first
I was
run.
like, damn.
between May and December of 2020.
Okay,
The
that's
first
still a lot.
Correct.
In 6 months.
Yes. And back then, we would deliver and with masks on.
Right.
And we just drop it at their door and we don't even knock. Maybe he'll email them or text them like, hey, your cookies are at your front door.
So you didn't have the mic and the speaker
no,
yet. You weren't
no.
announcing, hey, your cookies are here.
No,
And that's when I
no.
learned that it is technically illegal to put stuff in other people's mailbox.
Oh, interesting. That's why we
Yes.
drop it on the doorstep.
Exactly.
That makes
Yes.
sense.
Yeah.
There was a time I remember, this was Thanksgiving 2020. We had 65 local deliveries. I drove around Indianapolis for 16 hours and it was 240 miles.
Damn.
All the way from Bargersville to Noblesville to
Zionsville.
to Brownsburg, and even finding there's like tools to find like the most economic way to travel,
Sure.
all that. And it was crazy 'cause I remember right after Thanksgiving, then that's whenever I got hit with the first version of COVID.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So that was just pre-vax, pre-everything. And then it pretty much, our entire house was like in disarray for like, luckily that was a break time too because it was a holiday.
Well, I was just about to say, I'm like, not
Wow.
a great time for something like that to happen
Oh,
when you're
man.
I
into
got
the...
it first and spread it.
Mama Odie, come on now. No, I'm just kidding.
She spreads love these days.
Spreading the love.
Spreads love these
Making
days.
up for the early COVID spread with some love. I like it.
Yeah.
What makes a good cookie? Like, what do you know that you got it right? You said you get some on the first try, but some it takes 30 tries, and maybe you don't even get it then. How do you know when you've got it down?
The sweetness is right. The flavor is there.
Not too sweet.
Not too sweet.
Not too
Because
sweet.
I'm Filipino, and I don't like American sweet.
Sure.
And if it's American sweet, I'm like,
Yeah.
cut back a little bit because,
Well, we do sugar, and then we make it hard, and then we put more sugar on it, and then we got to figure out how to sprinkle sugar on there,
Yeah.
and then we fry it.
yeah.
And then you put a whole bunch of salt to mask,
You
to mask
gotta
the
get
sugar.
the salt on
and
there.
then
Because it's
they're like,
savory, too. You got to make it savory.
And it has to be, chewy and not hard because we don't do crispy cookies. Our cookies are softer, but not crumbling.
Yeah.
Chewy. I mean, the best way to eat our cookies, to me, is straight out of the freezer because it doesn't really freeze hard. Like 10 seconds after you take it out of the freezer, you break it up and you pop it in. And it's like, yummy.
sweet treat that's cold.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I
yeah.
was going to eat that out of the
you
freezer,
can-
but I'm
you-
going
you
to
can-
now.
You can do that. Obviously the best way is for it to be coming straight out of the oven.
Oh, sure.
And it's, still warm where, you can handle it.
Yeah.
And it's good because everything starts to melt. But then if it's not there, and that only lasts a minute,
Sure.
really. Most of the time it's frozen or on the counter. But the best way is frozen.
It's crazy too, because that's something throughout the entire Salamat journey, nobody, like I'm talking like less than a percent of people who've had our cookies have had the chance to smell them
Oh, sure.
fresh.
Sure. Because you're bringing product to the
Yeah.
markets. We're not coming to your kitchen and
Correct.
picking them up.
And
Yeah.
it is the smell, because there'll be people, sometimes we'll open up the kitchen and we haven't advertised it too much, but
Sure.
like during those bake days, people could just come in like any time during production and just get cookies.
Oh,
And
interesting.
when people do come in, they're like, what in the world? Like, what? It smells so good in here.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
this exists here in Indiana? Like that, what?
Yeah.
So that's another reason where I feel like we still have a lot of room to grow because smell is a huge sensation of eating and just the whole experience. And once people get a chance to smell our stuff and fresh,
Sure.
oh, it changes the world. It changes the world and how people see it. So
Well, it broadens the experience even for returning customers who have not had that opportunity. They see the product, they see Salamat in a whole new light just through, I get to not only see the production, but the smell of it all to engage every sense.
They see us in
at
hair
once.
nets. They see us in hair
Yes.
nets and beard nets. I guess it's the stash net because I got the stash now. But then just to see because whenever we're at pop-ups and stuff we're salamated up and ready to go. But then we're in our baking stuff. And so they get to see the behind the scenes and get the full experience.
Yeah. Well, you do share a little bit of the behind the scenes on the
Try to,
gram,
yeah.
but for the most part, when you're out at the markets, you're on the feed. That's what people see. They don't see all the
on the
work
feed.
that goes into getting to the market in the first place. You're all about bringing not just awareness, but literally bringing the flavors of the Philippines to here us in Indy, here in Indiana, but just all over the place. Describe the way you just talked about the smell of it. Now I'm going to ask you to go one layer deeper. Can you describe the fragrance of some of these Filipino flavors that you're bringing? Is there a way that you can verbalize some of this smell sense for me?
So we can demystify ube right now.
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. So first off, a lot of smells out of our kitchen, man, brown, you're going to get notes of brown butter, brown sugar, vanilla, toasted coconut, like tropical, deep chocolate, rich chocolate flavors, just really nostalgic flavors. Because when you look at a lot of Filipino flavors, they have notes that are very nostalgic to what we know here in America as well. So ube, for example, a nice way to describe ube is a vanilla, a warm vanilla and a nuttiness like pistachio.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's earthy, nutty, and then that nostalgic vanilla. So whenever you describe it like that, folks are vanilla pistachio, I want to try that. But whenever you just show them a purple cookie, for folks not knowing that whenever you cut an ube in half, it's purple.
Okay.
Just like when you cut a sweet potato in half, it's orange.
Right.
So, you kind of look at it and you're like, wait, what is this? And then whenever you put in like the brown sugar and the butter and the eggs and you mix it up into a cookie, like that vanilla pistachio comes up and then topped with toasted coconut.
Yeah.
And our Space Jam cookie with like melted marshmallow, like vanilla marshmallows. It's like, what in the world is happening on my palate right now?
For sure.
And it doesn't taste like exotic or like super tropical. It just tastes nostalgic and familiar, but it's different.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, I can actually enjoy this a lot more because it's not like, have you heard of balut?
I think so.
It's like the egg that has like a little duck that kind of matures into like the embryo becomes like a little baby duck. And then it was on Fear Factor.
Yes. Okay.
And then, so that kind of stuff has always made Filipino food like, I don't know about Filipino food. And then now you got like lumpia and then you have stuff like ube and pandan.
Yeah.
And folks are now opening up to it a lot more. So,
yeah. Was there a specific, well, I mean, what is it? What's the biggest like barrier you feel like to or hurdle to like getting some of these misconceptions out of the way for people? I feel like at the stand, it's probably not too much because it's just you're buying a cookie, and there's maybe not enough time to have that full conversation because it's really nuanced and it's a lot more layered than a 5-second interaction. What is like? How do you go about like confronting these like misconceptions that people might have about Filipino food or different foods than what we get here in America?
Hey,
in general?
Mom, what's oob? What's pandan? What's pandan? We're Hoosiers.
What's
We're
Salamat?
Hoosiers.
What's
That's a
Salamat?
great
Yeah,
Hoosier.
Salamat.
Salamat cookies. It was great. I think a lot of it
and
is.
what does Salamat mean? And then I turn around because usually on the back it will say Salamat means thank you.
Yeah.
And then our sign in the front says Salamat means thank you, and our backdrop
what does
says Salamat means thank you. What does Salamat mean? I'm like,
We don't read good here.
Isn't it reading well?
We sample cookies.
That's a big.
We sample
Sample's
cookies
huge.
Sure.
to people that don't know what it is. We'll sample the ube lemonade, because they don't know what ube is. And then we'll have placards. This is what ube is. This is what pandan is. And, this is what jackfruit is.
Yeah.
Different things like that. And then we sample. And most of the time, it's the kids that want to sample because it's the kids that want to buy the cookies. Their favorite is the green cookie and the purple cookie because it's different. It's not chocolate chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then because the barriers that I think it's just unfamiliarity.
Sure.
Being in a place like Indianapolis, growing up here, there was never access,
Right.
like ever access to Filipino flavors, really. And so even growing up, like I had Filipinos stuff at Filipino functions, specific functions, and in the house, but nowhere else.
Sure.
Right. And so a lot of this new emergence of Filipino stuff is because you're starting to see Filipinos like creep through in media and in food. We have our first, as Filipino, as a culture as a whole, has the first Michelin star in Chicago in Kasama. Right. We have some James Beards, right?
Yeah.
We got a James Beard Green Star, a Michelin Green Star for Kaya out in Orlando. So it's just now opening up, and it's crazy. Michelin, just for the first time in 2025, went to the Philippines.
Oh, okay.
They've
Wow.
never been to the Philippines. Whenever there's been this, the food and just how all the different cultures in the Philippines, because it was 7,000 islands and they do everything a little bit different,
Sure.
island to island, that it's taken them to 2025 to get to the Philippines. And now I think the world is going to see more and more and more why Filipino food is great, and it's an amalgamation of different cultures within that region, as well as being uniquely Filipino.
Yeah.
And so I think familiarity is a huge barrier, because when we go to Chicago, when we go to New York, when we go to the Bay, when we go to LA, when we go to Miami, when we go to Central Florida, everybody knows about Filipino stuff.
Yeah.
But whenever we're in like smaller markets like Indianapolis or St. Louis is coming up. Like we have some homies out in St. Louis, like St. Louis, or just like smaller markets that it's like very unfamiliar. So that's why we have gateway cookies.
Gateway cookies. What are your gateway cookies?
We have a brown butter oatmeal chocolate chunk.
Okay, right in. That sounds like a cookie straight out of the gas station in Indiana.
Because we had one of our customers say like, Mike, ube and pandan, like, it may be a little bit intimidating, but why don't you guys focus on making like a banging classic chocolate chip cookie?
Mm.
And then whenever somebody has that, because we're familiar with that,
Sure.
then maybe they're like, wow, this chocolate chip cookie is so great. Like, okay, so what's this other cookie?
Sure.
So they're like, it could be like a gateway to your other cookies.
Yeah.
So all of our classics,
it makes sense, but I'm also like, but you should appreciate the stuff that we're bringing for what it is. And we shouldn't have to be like, oh, try this thing that you already like. And then maybe you'll come back and get the ube flavors or whatever else might be there.
It took us a long time to actually say, let's make a chocolate chip cookie.
Sure.
Because I was against it. I'm like, no.
I mean, I would be against it too, to be honest. That's still a certain point, but and you're also running a business, which I understand. Mm-hmm. And I think that from my perspective, I feel like y'all are uniquely positioned to really help change this messaging, change the narrative, push back on this narrative of like exotic or unfamiliar. I'm thinking about you said like Fear Factor with, and then like James Corden during the pandemic had like exotic foods and was like, talking about it in that real stereotypical way, like it was bad or gross. And it's like, well, no, a whole community of people and like this is their food. Like, what are we talking about? And that's like the hard thing is narrative is intangible. So like you can't see the change. You just have to hope in people's minds they change, like they're changing it. And it takes folks who have like the unique skill set of not only the lived experience, but now like the creative side of it. Somebody who is a master baker, who can bring those types of flavors, who can actually authentically create this experience. And then we can market it, talk about it, share this information in a way that maybe we have not seen shared before. Like you said, there are pockets of places that Filipino culture and community are rising and already exist. Oh, yeah. But when we get into the smaller areas, it's how do we get beyond that? And it takes somebody like yourself, I think, and this team to help bridge that gap, or actually not even bridge the gap, break the wall down in order to bring us all together.
And chances are in those smaller areas, there are Filipinos. Like
exactly.
Filipinos are the crazy thing is Filipinos by population are the third largest represented Asian culture in America.
I believe it.
Behind India and China, then it's Philippines. But our
believe it.
food and media and Philippine culture is one of the least represented across the entire United States.
When we think about Asia, we think about East Asia. So we go China, Japan, Korea. And that's what it is. And then everything else is just, we don't think about it.
Tteokbokki?
Tteokbokki.
Oh, man, bro.
Yeah, they serve that in the airports in Korea. It's dope.
Doset
Just
bibimbap.
for no reason. I'm like, American airports are terrible.
But that was the thing with Philippine culture. So, because you have like lumpia, for example. Have you ever had lumpia?
I don't know that I have actually.
Look, Mom.
I think we ate it all.
As you should.
Because that's what I was doing growing up. I was eating a lot of, but like lumpia is like, it's the Philippine version of an egg roll, like being so close to China. And also like pancit is like the version of noodles. And so Philippines has always been like a fusion of cultures of like the area and then really making it their own. Yeah. And so it's cool to see that there is getting a lot more shine on Filipino stuff. And
for sure,
we just hope that through something as simple as a cookie, which I feel a cookie is American.
Yeah.
I have a term for that. And I coined that term.
Okay.
It needs to be in the dictionary. We cookie-fied.
Cookie-fied.
Cookie-fied Filipino flavors. Because in the Philippines, there's cookies.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is American cookies.
Sure.
So there's no ube cookies, no pandan cookies, no mango.
Interesting.
None. So in order to introduce the Filipino flavors here, we had to Americanize the experience.
Yeah.
Because most Filipinos...
That was fire.
Because most Filipinos that make delicacies, you know, the ube, they'll make ube halea, or they'll make an ube cake or a roll, or ube biko, you know, just basically with a rice base, or a rice flour base, and it's glutinous and things like that.
Yeah.
So in order for us to do this, and we wanted to do cookies. I'm like, okay, so he wanted Filipino flavors in the cookies. I'm like, oh, we're actually putting Filipino flavors in a cookie, so we're cookie-fying it in order for us to satisfy the American palate.
Yeah.
Because we're all Americans.
Yeah.
It was there was an article that came out in 2021, and it was so crazy because they're like, oh, ube, mango, and turon cookies exist, but only in Indiana.
Oh, damn.
And this is from the publication in the Philippines.
Okay.
Because it just shows like there are a few now that have come in a little bit, but even like back then, like there was none.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of cool because they're like, as a place obscure as Indiana, to be like the mecca of Filipino flavors and cookies is what? So that was just really cool. And it just showed us that there's a lot of work to be done in this space and to demystify like Filipino flavors being something like overly exotic or I don't know. And how do you do that and just put it into something we know and love here in America, in Indy, and that's oatmeal cookies and brown butter blondies.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I say this a lot, but Americans suck because we aren't willing to like do the educational work or try the different thing to get to there. We have to have people like bring it to us and like scale it down. So I apologize on behalf of all Americans. I apologize. I hit some stats earlier, and I love this idea of like how wide-reaching you have been. First off, did the recognition from a Filipino or Philippines-based publication, like, is that like a I made it, like we made it moment a little bit in 2021, even just a year on?
I think like personally being like Filipino in America, always feeling like out of place a bit.
100%.
Especially being mixed Filipino-American, because the first thing they say is, oh, you're not Filipino. Because I'm tall, I have like lighter eyes, and they don't realize my dad was 6'6" with like light gray eyes, And so like really having that relationship with what it was to be like Filipino-American, there was distance.
100%.
There was definitely distance from it. And can you repeat your question one more time?
Well, I was just asking, did it feel like a we made it moment once you saw that article come out?
And because I got so excited because I shared it with Mom because we were on the number one print publication in the Philippines. It's called the Filipino-Inspired, and we made the front page.
On the front page.
In Manila. And we still have we actually have a copy of it because a few family members in the Philippines, they saw it, they kept it just so that we could have it for like our records. And so it was like, man, like to get the cosign of the Philippines. And then after us having our first pop-up in Manila, that was December 2023, and seeing Filipinos, I was like, have you ever had mango in a cookie? They're like, what? And these are like Filipinos who have the best mangoes in the world in their backyard, have never really had it in a cookie. And I think that's like the Filipino-American fusion.
For sure.
Bringing it together. And they were like, yo. Yeah. And so, we sold out there and it was just like, yo, this is, I think there's something special here, but we're still trying to figure out how to, because you want to bring it to people. And it's like, like how do you package it in a way that, like right off top, people are like, I want to try that. Yeah. Even if they haven't had exposure to Filipino stuff or don't know about Mama and I's story. Yeah. But that was definitely a special, like me as a Filipino-American, I think we're always trying to feel more Filipino, like we're still connected to the culture. And whenever they wrote that article and then we were in the newspaper, that was like, yo, like this is something special. We got to keep working on this.
I absolutely love it. The reason I asked is because, and I don't know if Mike knows about this or is aware, but in Korean culture, for Korean Americans, you never really make it until you are in the Korea Times. You're printed in the Korea Times. I don't have Korean parents, so I don't really know if that's exactly what it is, but I've been around enough Korean American families where it's been funnily enough brought up enough times where I just was like, when you get in the paper of the country for your country of origin, it's like, that's the big time. Like, it doesn't matter if you do anything else, you've nailed it. So 200,000 cookies so far. Almost every state, 5 countries, lots of success so far. You have some big goals for 2025 too. So I was wondering if you mind sharing kind of some of the things that you're working towards this year.
Yeah. And since, and I'm sure you went online and checked out what we had going on, like on our story page and the goals, and because there was one really big goal that we had that we've kind of like laid that dream to rest for now, just to make sure that we're like solid as a business. And one of them was to open up our first brick and mortar.
Okay.
Because like the smell aspect, the community aspect, like all of these small businesses across the country who have opened their doors to like let us pop up in their space. Like we just like we'd love to be like that here in Indy and beyond. You know, let people come in and have a place. And so, but we've kind of put that to rest recently, and I think there's a lot of setting goals, and I feel like just being in entrepreneurship is that the world, unless you're willing to open up about what that process is like, they don't even get the chance to see, and even like how much of wanting something so bad and then not being able to get it, or choosing and having, I guess, there's a luxury to choose to actually take a step back. You know, and it can be really, really hard. And so setting goals has been a hard thing because we're still in the process of trying to identify, we're a Filipino-American like cookie company. You know, we're big on community. We're big on spreading the culture. But then like what are goals that we can set that really get us excited about the fact that we have to teach every single person locally about the business, or get us really excited about like where Salamat could really go. And because like the number of cookies like that, it's an exciting number, right?
100%.
You know, just like, whoa, like they can,
that's a lot of cookies.
Like 200,000 cookies, and our cookies used to be small. Cookies used to be small like this. And then there was times we'd bake like 5,000 cookies in a week and a half, and then our entire neighborhood would be over helping us scoop. And like we have like some of the folks who work with us now, they were like 12 and 13 years old scooping. And I remember Mike and Austin Ball, they scooped and all this cookie dough was on mom's rug and she had to throw it out. It was that messy, you know? And so
I'm sorry about your rug.
Yeah. I think you still have it, or did you throw it away?
I threw it away.
But so a lot of that has changed, and like asking that question, because a big part of it, and what I was even sharing with the community is like, we're working on a space. And learning about going into like nearly $1 million in debt is oh my gosh, it's a lot. And our dream is that big and bigger. For sure. Right. And timing has a lot to do with it. But 100%. I think we're coming off of that as of right now and restructuring like our mindset and our heart space, because that takes a lot to like to go through that. And so absolutely. So I think I wanted to share that first, and then I'd also like to let Mom share about like what her personal goals were are with Salamat too, because I think I can formulate better goals for sure in a moment. But
well, I just really quickly, I just want to say I thank you for sharing that and affirm you, because we just had Leslie Bailey on of Indie Maven and Maven Space. Right after she announced that she was closing Maven Space. So they were getting ready to move into a physical space, and it just didn't work out. And she came on the show because she wanted to talk about what it looks like to close out loud, particularly for women, small business owners. And I think that is a really difficult, brave thing to do. And it's something that when people are able to share in that way and tap into that vulnerability, it models for other people what it looks like to have to kind of go through something like that. And hopefully nobody has to, but the reality is people do have to reprioritize, reset, reframe, figure out what the next thing is if something doesn't work out. And I think the reality here too in Indiana is that we claim to be the hub and home of the small business owner. But for small business owners that want to start their own brick and mortar, it can be kind of difficult to do that.
Super difficult.
So I think there's a lot of things at play with it, but I just want to affirm you and thank you for sharing that, because that's a hard thing. And I think I did not ask that question to set you up in that way. I did not realize. So I appreciate you sharing and clarifying.
So I feel like being an entrepreneur, like people connect with your brand whenever they get to know a little bit more of who you are. 100%. And like I feel like even with Talking Cookies, because I haven't been on, I did one last week. It was the first time in almost a year and a half, you know, doing that.
You didn't call me.
You know, we're working our way back in, but it was just
I'm
like,
gonna look at the thumbnail. She better not be in there.
Sometimes it's so hard to even like muster up enough courage to like, oh, I haven't done it in a year and a half. Am I going to remember my bumper?
Yeah.
Am I still going to do the same things that I did a year ago? Like, oh shoot, I haven't done it in this long. Is my lighting still going to be good? Am I going to overthink it? All the ways you can get in your own way. But I was just like, you know what? I just got to do this. And so I just did it.
For sure.
But I think just sharing more about like who we are, and a lot of people have been missing mom because they don't because she's not as present on social media as she was like through Talking Cookies. Everybody's been like, so how's mama? Like, where's mama? Like, I haven't seen. And so like now I try to, like when we're doing stuff in the kitchen, like I'll do a super close zoom on mom's face. She'll like, get out of my face, or, just bring her back in. And cause folks, like they love mama. And I think that's another, you're talking about goals. I think that's a big goal to just let folks back into what we've been doing. Cause it's been a really challenging season too for Salamat, and we haven't been as present, and I've just been on operations, we've been like refining, but also as a small business is like, you don't want to have to put that struggle that you're facing, whether it be within the community or within your business, on your customer. Right. That's not to be put on them. But then where do we ever, it's supposed to be community. Where can we let that out in a healthy way that doesn't compromise the business? And so that's been a really, over the past year, I didn't know I would be talking about this, but I feel like this is a platform. For sure. I appreciate you sharing 100%. To be able to share. And so I think being able to be more open about like what's going on in the business, the stuff that we're doing. Like we've made a lot of so many changes, have become so much more efficient. We've had a few members of our team who've celebrated their year anniversary with us, like working alongside us, which is so awesome. So definitely want to give a shout out to them. And but I think sharing more about our business and our story is what got people excited about Salamat in the first place. And I think that's a big goal for us in 2025.
100%. I love it. And again, thank you for sharing and being open and vulnerable on this platform. I never know where the conversation is going to go. And when people are willing to share a little bit more vulnerably, it's a big privilege for me. So thank you. Mama Odie, what goals do you have for 2025? Or are you right now in the process of reprioritizing, figuring out what those goals might be?
She's ready to travel.
She's like, I was retired 5 years ago.
That's right.
I was retired 5 years ago.
Well, just spread the word around. We're going to be in 3 farmers markets this summer. We are still in the winter's farmers market right now.
Okay.
We'll be at Garfield, Fishers, and the one in Monument Circle called...
Original.
Okay.
And that's Wednesdays, midday. But Saturdays we'll be there, and then we'll be popping up in various events like Mocoa and Rev, Macau, or whatever.
Salamat.
Rev, and we're going to be, several, we will be going to Chicago, we'll be going to New York, and just people just inviting us. I'm like, hey, participate. Sometimes it's easy to do. Sometimes it's like, oh, we got to lug all this cookies.
Sure. I can't imagine going to another city to
that hatchback.
Okay, so you're driving too.
There's driving, there's flying.
Oh, there is some flying. Okay.
There's some flying. I mean, you can't. We've driven to New York.
I guess you can't drive to the Philippines, so that makes sense.
But we,
I guess you could.
But we've taken things to Miami and Orlando and California and St. Louis, Columbus.
St. Louis coming back. Columbus, Ohio.
Nice.
Filipino communities in like in St. Louis and in Columbus and in Cincinnati, like smaller markets, like Midwest is
out here in the Midwest.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Midwest, they think just Chicago, because Chicago is of course the mecca of the Midwest, right? But then like all these others, like small but yet big cities, I feel like, Ohio says they're the heart of it all, but I feel like Indiana.
Yeah.
In terms of like where you can go. Yeah, it's right there too. And but it's so much bigger than just Chicago, which we love Chicago.
100%.
But man, once all these other small represented communities in the Midwest like come together, and there's been opportunities. We've had folks come into some events we've hosted here in Indy. Folks have been coming out from Columbus and from Cincinnati and from St. Louis and Chicago to Indy. Yeah. Which is like, that's cool.
Amazing.
You know,
Yeah.
that they would want to come to Indy and not just have to go to want to go to Chicago, but they want to come to Indy to celebrate the Midwest. Like that is fire.
Yeah.
And so we're looking forward to doing a lot more of that this year too.
I am here for it. I love that like all of this and this work that y'all do is rooted in community. You mentioned community a lot, and community is involved in like helping you sometimes physically scoop the batches together and put everything together.
That's been crazy.
We have a recurring segment on the show called Give Them Their Flowers, sponsored by Madeline McKinnon and Frida's Flowers. Shout out to her. And it's a segment where we ask our guests to shout out a person or persons that they feel like deserve their flowers at the moment. I was wondering, since you're both here together, if you could each give each other your flowers. So, Mike, if you don't mind giving Mama Odie her flower, or Mama Odie her flowers, you say whatever nice thing, or maybe flowers isn't so nice. Who knows what kind of flower it might be? But
the can of worms that you just...
We're opening the can of worms. Where she kind of cracked it open at the beginning of the conversation. And no, we're bringing it all the way open.
And if I was to give mom her flowers, and one of the things is that like I'm her son.
For sure.
I'm her only son. And all of who I am as a person in terms of the meticulous nature, the speaking out on things that I really believe in, like the hard work. Like she knows how hard we work, and even like the drive and determination to persist in the midst of like adversity. Like Mom lost the love of her life in 2017. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And it took 3 years in Salamat for her to find her purpose again in life, you know, and just seeing like her, you know, just traveling and just trying to figure it out, to like getting up at like 6 a.m. and setting out the mixer and measuring out ingredients. Like I wake up and she's already like, we had shower caps on before hairnets because that's all we had at the house. You know, she walked down, she had a shower cap on, you know, and,
she's on that mama mentality in the gym first,
that
leaving
mama
last.
Mentality that needs to go on a shirt, man. Mama mentality, and so just to let you know, Mom, that like I am a reflection of like all the sacrifice, all the hard work, and just all the heart that you put into everything you do, coming from where you come from, and I wouldn't be here. Salamat wouldn't be where it's at without you. You're the heart. You're the heart. You know, like, yeah. Mom, she's like,
hell yeah.
I'm emotional too. Like I'm kind of, like, but like
I'm super emotional. So
that's how I know it's real whenever it comes
sure.
out like that. You know, and I don't get to. Sometimes like we'll leave the kitchen and like, damn, I don't even get a chance to like hug and say bye, see you tomorrow, say thanks.
Yeah.
You know, because like it's a lot. Like it's a lot
work,
of work.
It's work too.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so I just want to let you know, I as much as I definitely push you, you know, like with love, because, you know, we still have to grow. We still have to evolve. You know, we can't just be mom and son, mom and pop style. Like there's things that we need to continue to learn so that we can grow and scale and really get the word out. But I just thank you for your patience and just for always showing up, no matter what happens, no matter what we got going on with how many like family members. She's the oldest.
Okay.
So she's taking care of everybody and their mom and all their appointments and driving everybody and grocery shopping and do everything for everybody. But she always shows up. And as soon as she comes in, she puts her hairnet on.
She got the mixer. She getting it in.
She is locked in, like locked. There's time like we let our team know if she works past a certain amount of hours, everybody collectively says, Mom, it's time to go.
Mama, you retired. Again,
Mom, it's time to go. It's time to go. Because she'll just continue. I think she's just wired for hard work,
sure.
You know? And so I just want to say I love you. I respect you. And the example you set each and every day just is the reason why, like, I'm your son. Like, and that's why I think there's because she sees me
100%
in her, like her and me. And sometimes, and it's like, you know, like, why are you like that? You know, I'm like, because you're like that. Where do you think I get it from?
Y'all know each other.
Yeah.
Because as family and now as coworkers. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I know mom, and I'm just, since dad passed away, like I'm just so thankful like that I've gotten to spend this much time with my mom.
Yeah.
You know, because like no matter where life takes us, you know, I just got married recently, and
Congratulations.
are we gonna, thank you, and it's like, are we gonna stay here? Are we gonna move or wherever? But I'll always be able to go back in terms of like the photos, like the content, and just the memories that we've shared. I'll be able to go back and look at that and be like, man, I spent all those years with mom, like so close.
Yeah.
And you know, I can be very content and happy with that. So love you, mama.
Me too.
The heart. Man. I appreciate you, brother. I
Thanks
appreciate
for
you
these.
sharing that.
I didn't realize it was gonna be for that.
All right, you're up. Tough act to follow.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a very tough act to follow. I admire his persistence. When times were rough sometimes, he kept on going and he kept on going. When we got stressed, he kept on going. Then realized at that point too that, what year was that? 2023.
I think. Is it 20?
Wait a minute, this is 25. So it's 2023.
5 years just blew by.
2023, it was the biggest year.
Oh, yeah.
But it was also the most challenging year because him and I both realized that we were like tapped out. We were stressed. We were like
losing
our minds.
And the company was actually losing money for 4 months in a row.
Mm.
We were
losing
like,
our minds and basically just, you know, we were, what is the term? Burnt out.
Burnt out, yeah.
Burnt out. But so I said to him, you're not balanced. This is all you're thinking about. What about your photography? What about this other things that are there? But he concentrated so much on it in order for it to grow.
Yeah.
But I admire you for the fact that you listened to me in terms of balance.
Yeah.
So when the balance came, everything got more efficient. Everything fell into better place. We worked less hours, but produced a lot more.
Okay.
You know, the profitability is there rather than before we were like just grinding, thinking that it would be profitable. But now we actually have less time and more profitability.
Yeah.
So you did that because, like you said, you and I are alike, and I, you know, I found balances in me that enabled me to do better. Basically, when you kick me out of the kitchen because it's my 5 hours is up, I know because at 5 hours and 5 minutes, I'm like,
hypoglycemic.
Yeah, okay.
It gets, it's intense.
Yeah.
he's fired me a few times, but I
You still there?
Man.
I came back.
Man.
Like, you can't fire me.
There's
That's the heart. That's the heart right there. Can't fire the heart.
Yeah, because getting into those dynamics, and I think like during those moments is like those, because like mom, she's at her age. I'm not gonna give her age, but she's definitely looks a lot younger than her age, and she is who she is, and who she is very, very special. Can it be a challenge based on she grew up as a baby boomer and coming over as an immigrant, like literally had no say, was shipped over here and said, you're going to have to figure it out. But in America, and having to lock in and having to really stay her course and chart her course, compared to me, who mom and dad, they came together. They wanted my sister and I to have, you know, a better life or whatever it is for us than they had growing up, and the luxuries that we had. Do we see differently?
Sure.
A lot of times, heck yeah. But I think the values of hard work and staying committed and knowing what pride can do, and just being honest with ourselves and realizing what we're rooted in, and that's community, that's in our culture, and that's in our family, and faith especially, that when we get back to those things, it helps to level everything out, and like she says, bring everything back to balance. But yeah, because it wasn't very balanced, and I'm a Libra too, so October 3rd, Libra, Mean Girls Day. So I'm in the heart of Libra, and it's about balance. And she, as my mom, just noticed that I was not, you know, balanced.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
Well, I appreciate you both sharing that. Shout out to Mom for seeing that we need some balance in our lives sometimes. Shout out to Madeline for sponsoring this segment. Shout out to Frida's Flowers. She got the 65-minute mark, so we've been here a lot longer than I thought we were going to be. So
like therapy session.
I have two more questions, and then I will let you get out of here.
Let's get it.
You mentioned earlier pancit.
Pancit, yeah.
I read that is pancit palabok is one of your Filipino specialties.
That's my favorite, pancit palabok.
Can you tell us what makes a great pancit palabok?
Okay, so pancit palabok. So there's many different types of pancit. So pancit just is like means what, noodles? And then like the palabok, you have like bihon, you have sotanghon. So different types of pancit. But pancit palabok, traditionally, isn't it with the thicker noodle?
It's a thicker noodle.
Is it malabon noodle? What is that called?
I don't know. It's a rice noodle.
It's like a thicker, but I grew up. It's crazy. I grew up, and maybe because Lolo, like, which means grandpa in Filipino, maybe he didn't have access or something.
It's harder to find it. You have to go to the Asian store for it.
Yeah. Okay,
and Angel Hair was so accessible at Walmart. So,
Lolo made pancit palabok with angel hair pasta. So that's how I thought it should have been made. And I feel like everybody else who's grown up, they're going to say the same thing, like, this is how it should be made. So for me, man, pancit palabok with angel hair pasta. I actually just made it recently with his recipe, and I added a little twist because there's chicharron, like the pork rinds, in the gravy. And I do it with like I did it with a chili lime pork rind. So it was like a little fusion on what he was doing. Yeah. Also with the shrimp, because there's shrimp in it, that you boil the shrimp stock and you use that shrimp stock to make the gravy. This is all Lolo. I actually wrote it down. This is like one of the only recipes I have from him, and I just watched every single detail. Yeah. And then like the hard-boiled eggs on top, and then just having your layers and making sure you have enough sauce to coat. That you don't want dry noodles. You don't want
no dry noodles.
And then, so you put it on the bottom, you put your angel hair, and you put more sauce, and then top it, make it look really pretty by having the shrimp just laid on top, and then the egg, and then top it with some green onion and
lemon.
Oh yeah, lemon. So lemon classically, but you throw some calamansi on there, bro. Calamansi is like a common, like I think of it more as like a combination of like an orange and a lime. Yeah. If they had a baby, it'd be calamansi. Yeah. It's like, it's tart but sweet. More sweet than tart than like a lemon, because a lemon's a little bit more tart. Yeah. But man, that flavor, that citrusy, it's so great. And then whenever it's fresh and hot, all the like the gravy and the noodles come together, and then sometimes you can do it like lasagna, and you can like scoop it out with like a little spatula, or you can get the noodle thing. But as you're pulling it up, you just see the steam of heat rising, and then all of a sudden you just smell like the citrusy smells. You smell the shrimp, you smell the egg, and then you take that first bite, bro. You take that first bite, and all of a sudden you forget where you are. You're back in the Philippines.
I've never had it, so I gotta try it. You made me want it now.
I gotta bring it out. Maybe
Are you inviting him for dinner tomorrow night at your house?
Hey, look, we're right downtown. Shoot, I know Ariel and Yusuf, they're hosting many more events. And maybe there'll be a food where I could actually come in. We're out of a commissary kitchen. Okay. So I could just be like, maybe I'll just bring a thing of pancit palabok for people to try, because like that's the only thing I really know how to make. Yeah. Like Mom has the lumpia locked down, every other Filipino food locked down, but like that pancit palabok, bro, got you.
I appreciate you sharing that. I knew I had to ask you that question when I read about it, and I think my favorite part of this entire interview was listening to you share this recipe and watching you nod approvingly as he went through the recipe. I think you nailed it, because it looked like I could feel the love there, and it was like, this is what we do.
You tried it, right? Because I brought some over.
Yeah.
Mike, Mama Odie, thank you so much for coming through, giving me way more of your time than I was owed. So I really appreciate that. Last question that I asked for everyone, for people out there watching, listening, tuning in right now, if they want to support you, if they want to follow you, if they want to do all of those things, how do they do that going forward?
Go to salamatcookies.com.
Yeah. Salamatcookies.com. You can get everything there, and we'll have that link in the show notes for you.
Because we started everything was e-commerce and online, like just through IG, and then we created that website. Yep. And so like that's last thing, if I may.
Yeah.
Like a big goal is really to get back to our foundation and really
sure.
like grow our e-commerce platform. And so you can find all stuff at salamatcookies.com. Instagram, you can find us at Salamat Cookies. Crazy to find that we found that right in 2020.
For sure.
Like, and look, I'm like, this is still available. You know, like whenever you find that Instagram handle, it's like, yo. But yeah, you can find us all there at salamatcookies.com.
Amazing. We're going to have that link in the show notes, and we're going to direct people, as many people as we can, to y'all. Keep supporting you. Keep doing the thing.
Ship to your friends, family.
Ship to your friends. Every country. The people in Wyoming. I've been to Jackson Hole. I know y'all need cookies up there at the ski resort. So get some orders in, and let's get all 50 states covered. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Everybody else, every Tuesday, new episodes, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, conversationpiecePod.com for the archives, for merch, and for the open door. Make sure you tap into that if you're interested in participating with that. Lots of cool stuff coming up in the rest of the year. But until then, that's John Overton and Popular Rapture on the mics, Mike Lee and Mike Lee Productions on the cameras. Shout out to Pattern and shout out to the Studs for the space. Shout out to Madeline McKinnon and Frida's Flowers for these amazing set pieces. Shout out to Mama Odie. Shout out to Mike Williams II. And shout out to Salamat Cookies for being amazing people, amazing guests. And shout out to me, Patrick Armstrong, for being an awesome host most of the time. This is the Conversation Piece. We'll see y'all soon.